civil rights movement, as the stories are told, a lot of the who'd become prominent black leaders in America were coming to listen to you speak. And you were a part of that process.
Well, I was teaching in the South. I was living in the South. I was teaching at a black women's college in Atlanta, Georgia, Spelman College. You know, my students became involved. I became involved. You know, and so...
You got tossed for it, too, ultimately, didn't you? Didn't you ultimately have to leave?
I was afraid you would bring that up.
Had to ask.
I was fired. They always put it in a nice way. You had to leave. No, I was fired. Yeah, well, I supported my students. My students were rebelling against the administration. I supported my students. Can't do that. You're a teacher. Not supposed to support the students. That was not. But yeah, I was fired. However, I must say this. 42 years after I was fired from Spelman College, they invited me back to give me an honorary degree and asked me to give the commencement address. So, you know, there's some justice in the world if you wait 42 years.
42 years, yeah. What was the moment that stood out in the civil rights movement for you when you were involved in that? Was there something you witnessed and thought, change is actually here now? Was there a victory?
I think the moment was being in Selma, Alabama, 1963, where people had been prevented from voting for generations, and see them all gather, all these black people in Selma gather in a church and decide that the next day they're going to do something that they had never done in their lives. They're all going to get together and they're going to face off the state troopers and the sheriff and the police and the federal government, which was not helping them. And there's the government of, remember, this is the government of, you know, Kennedy and Johnson. This is the liberal government. Face off all of these powers, and they're going to go and stand online, face all that, and register to vote. And that night in the church where they're building up their courage, you have the Selma Freedom Chorus singing these magnificent songs that build up people's spirit. It was one of those moments.